New on Curiosity Stream.
From time to time, we have collisions between asteroids and the Earth.
We track them, we study them, we hope the big one never comes. Don't look up, it's Asteroid Rush. And alligators. They rarely get sick. They even outlasted the dinosaurs. Could they hold the secret to human longevity?
Their blood could have antibacterial applications.
Wade into the investigation on immortal alligators. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to Season 17, Episode number 3672. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and my con, Montgomery, and you are the Men's Room. On tap today, the return of Who Sucks Less. We will play Profile This, plus headlines, a Men's Room shout of the day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted. Clap, clap. All right, here we go. An Ohio man is charged with giving meth to his 6-month-old monkey named Neo. To Thailand, where the government is handing out 1 million pot plants for citizens to grow. Amazon in Canada is pulling children's clothes that express the love for the twig and berries. Man with love of gambling and pie leads to him being one of the lottery's beneficiaries. And a Catholic school sold fake roses with a red thong inside for Mother's Day. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, nobody wants to be an airplane passenger and hear the words, "Is there a doctor on the plane?" It's an obvious sign that something has gone wrong. So now imagine hearing the words, "Is there a pilot on the plane?" Now, even worse, you're the only passenger and you're not the pilot. Now, that was a scenario yesterday for a man in a single-engine Cessna. The actual pilot suffered some type of medical emergency and passed out. And believe it or not, with the help of air traffic control, dude safely landed the plane. And I'm telling you right now, air traffic control, they probably took bets that this dude was going to die. Now, I'm sure it's not a situation he wants to repeat, but he has a hell of a story to tell for the rest of his life. And maybe he can trade stories with Scott Thompson. A few months ago, Scott went overboard, spent 5 hours in cold water. Now, on several occasions, he thought he was going to drown because his limbs started failing him. But every time he ran out of proverbial gas, a freaking seal would pop out of the water and keep pushing his ass along until he finally reached an oil rig. That's where he ended up getting rescued. But the man himself says, the seal saved my life on more than one occasion. And then there's Washington Commanders rookie quarterback Sam Howell. Now, in 3 seasons at UNC, Sam threw for over 10,000 yards. He had 92 touchdown passes. He also ran for 17 touchdowns on his own, and he ran for an additional 1,000 yards. But the only stat that anyone is talking about is that he's never eaten a hamburger. So physical gifts aside, the thing everyone finds unbelievable about this guy is that he's never eaten beef. He's not a vegetarian. He just really, really likes chicken. You can't make it up. But look, today, everybody has something about them that other people find unbelievable, unreal, or kind of crazy. So maybe it's Ted, who's now performed the Heimlich maneuver 3 times and he's not a doctor. Or Ted, who's never been married but has been in 23 weddings. Been in 23 weddings. Maybe it's your number of surgeries. We don't know. But today we want to know, what is your unbelievable factoid or life experience?
Be part of the big show. Call 206-421-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send your emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
New on Curiosity Stream.
With my infrared drone, I can see what others can't.
Drone pilot Doug Thron uses his bird's eye view for the ultimate good, saving animals from desperate situations around the globe. Join the rescue effort on a new season of Doug to the Rescue. And
You captured a Confederate steamboat?
We're taking the ship to freedom.
an enslaved crew, a stolen vessel, and a Civil War dash to salvation on impossible escapes. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Bro, gnarly.
What's up, Taylor?
Dude, that nerd in his electric hybrid totally blew the light while texting his yuppie friends.
That's so bogus, bro. Are you hurt?
Yeah, like I can't move my hips, bro. I think I broke my pelvis, man.
Dude, no way.
Taylor, you need to drop a dime and talk with the lawyers at the Advocates Law Firm.
No way, can't afford that, bro.
Your crotch is broken, man, and they don't earn any money unless they win your case.
Dude, no way.
You get injured, the advocates get results. Contact them today at advocateslaw.com.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
All of y'all, and away we go. Welcome to Season 17, Episode number 3672. What a large and charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat. The exciting return of Who Sucks Last. Steve, I don't know how you do it. You find 3 stories in the news and they suck. Which is amazing because there's so much positive news.
That's all it is. There's positive news.
Especially if you go to the major outlets. You cannot believe all the positivity and good things being done in the world. But you find 3 people, and they are not doing good things.
No. They're well out of the norm.
And they're not even in the government.
No. And that's usually you can count on our federal government to be doing good things. No, none of these people work for the Fed. All of them idiots. More than anything, they're idiots.
Okay. All right.
They're not even bad people. They're idiots. They're not stupid, but they're idiots.
Okay.
That's the best way to describe it.
Who Sucks Less is on the way, and of course, as we do every Monday through Friday at 6, we head on over to the Odyssey app for the Men's Room Happy Hour, episode number 163. I believe today we're getting to a little what you don't need to know. All
right.
Which we kind of glazed over a little bit yesterday, but we'll get to it today. Keep in mind, the Men's Room Happy Hour, more Men's Room every Monday through Friday at 6. However, it is more of an adult program as the language gets a little bit more colorful, as do the topics included. So we encourage you not to listen to the Men's Room Happy Hour with children in the area.
I would say it like this. Say that, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse Man, whatever it is. Big movie. You can take your kids to that movie. When we go to Happy Hour, it's like Deadpool.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Right.
Fair.
They're similar, but you might not want to watch
the same rules. We have to be governed here by the FCC on KISW. They don't apply to the happy hour, so we can kind of cut loose and have a little fun. So hopefully,
Kind of like a bar, right?
Yeah.
Like some bars, some places that serve beer, you can have kids in there till about 8.
Right. Then at 8 o'clock.
As long as they have that
out, kids.
As long as they have those places are gold mines if you've got children, though.
Oh, my God, yeah.
It's so hard to find a bar. Like, that's why the Ram's great. That's why Red Robin is great.
I used to love, what was it, Naked City in Greenwood? I don't remember if it's still there now, but...
Bill's when they were...
But it leads to a lot of day drinking.
Bill's had a separate spot, yeah.
But at least day drinking. So one thing a wife and I realized, the kid was like 2 or 3 years old, and I'm like, ooh, I thought I was genius. I go, you know what, man? Naked City lets kids in during the day. So we went down. The idea was we're going to go there and drink, but you can feed the kid. We walked. It's nothing but parents and kids.
That's right. Yeah, that's why breweries are
there just slamming down beer because the kids are real little. The kids are playing. You realize this is not an original idea. But thank you for doing it.
It's like taking them to play indoor golf at a place that serves beer. Flat stick.
Yeah.
South Lake Union. Oh, there's a lot of people in here.
If you're going to do something for kids, Chuck E. Cheese, man. I remember one of the last times I went there, one of the things that always pissed me off about Chuck E. Cheese, their beer selection was always crap, right? So the kids have a birthday party there. I stroll up, and the guy behind the counter where they do serve beers, like, dude, we now have Elysian stuff. I was like, thank you, God. So it wasn't just like Bud Light.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. They're like, he was so excited.
They're just trying to keep the adults from getting out of line.
Yes.
That's all they're trying to do.
It is.
We need booze.
Yeah, trying to keep it manageable. Search for the Men's Room Happy Hour channel. That goes live at 6. If you click on that right now, there's not going to be any audio on there or anything else. So hopefully we'll see you at 6 for the Men's Room Happy Hour. And our question today, as you said, Steve, we've all had unique experiences in life, whether we believe that they are unique experiences or not. I've never been, as you said, in the position, knock on wood, to have to give the Heimlich to anybody who was having a hard time. Ted, you've done it 3 times in your life.
Correct. I just did it Saturday.
It was unbelievable.
If you listen to a brand new episode of the podcast, there's 2 Heimlich stories.
Yeah.
That's what we do on our podcast.
Save lives.
Save lives.
Did so what? Did Ern or somebody else or Matt? Did they
Aaron Cobb? Yes.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. He was at a barbecue joint in Austin, and somebody started choking on brisket.
And he went over and took care of it.
Yeah, well, it's weird. Like,
how do you thank somebody after that?
I'm buying your dinner, buying your drinks, whatever.
Well, the other time was my mom, so I just kind of yelled at her, chew your food. Saturday was a child, so after they ran off crying, they came back and were very thankful.
Sure. Well, they were scared.
They were right. But, it's just tough because you don't never want to be mad at somebody who's choking. You're just kind of like, chew the damn food.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, an adult's scared. You're scared. Even if you're choking,
well,
you're
look,
scared.
I've talked about it plenty of times. That's one of my biggest fears of living alone is like you'd hate to choke on something and just be there by yourself.
Mm-hmm. I used to think that was a ridiculous fear, and then I considered you are now doing the Heimlich for the 3rd time. Like, I can see how that's a fear of yours.
And the Heimlich just, like, I've done it, so I feel fine doing it, but, like, when, I don't know, you just notice. Because, like, Cobb's story was the same way. He's like, everybody's just kind of standing there. You could tell the dude's choking, but he's not giving, like, the I'm choking sign.
Yeah.
So finally, he was just like, all right, I guess I got to do this. And it's weird because, for an adult, or I don't know what's weirder, doing it on another adult or doing it on a child. Because, you got to really hit them.
Yeah, so with the kid, did you think about how hard you're doing it?
Correct.
People with, like, CPR.
I don't want to break her little ribs.
Yeah. She didn't choke, but it punctured both of her lungs, right?
Yeah.
Well, look, I'm the same. I've mentioned it a number of times. I'm afraid I'm going to die with a spoon of peanut butter in my mouth. So I don't buy peanut butter.
Yours is real specific.
That is very specific.
It is because, like, choking in general, you're like, ooh, that'd be like, I have a fear of drowning. Yours is like, I have a fear of drowning in Lake Erie.
But I bet everybody in here, though, has had that moment when you're eating something and you're like, either it goes down and you're like, I shouldn't have swallowed that big, or you're kind of in that weird zone of like, what's going to happen?
I would never give my 2-year-old or 1.5-year-old a hot dog without cutting it very, very, very small.
Yeah, there's a reason.
That's kind of my peanut butter thing. You know what I mean? I know. I got up in the middle of the night last night and was feeling really, really hungry for whatever reason. I kind of woke. I was asleep for a little bit, but I do this thing where I get up and I'm got to refill my drink or whatever, and I walk downstairs, and there's just I don't have really any food in my refrigerator. So I remember it. I grabbed the barbecue dressing, or the barbecue bottle, and I just poured a big thing of barbecue sauce in my hand and went, clunk, and just ate it.
That was your snack.
That was my snack because I really don't have any food.
Buy some food, man.
Well, I know that.
When you're leaking condiments, it's it's time to go grocery shopping.
I have them, but it's food that I need to...
Miles' defense.
That I need to cook.
I think it depends on the condiment. Sometimes I'll just take a squirt of Dijon because I like it.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I love mustards, but I won't just go for the... I don't just do the squirt.
I tried a little buffalo sauce.
How many different sauces?
I have raw chicken in my refrigerator. I'm going to make that tonight.
Right.
I was just trying to figure out, okay, what am I going to put on these wings tomorrow?
Okay, well, that's
so
different.
I went through like teriyaki.
You never just take a hit of mustard?
No.
I'd take a hit of yellow mustard right now.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I love mustard.
I mean, I love mustard. I'm just not a big suck down the condiment real quick guy.
What?
You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't say Miles and I are real big on it. We just do it more than you do.
Which is at all.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Certain salad dressings, maybe. Like Italian salad dressing. If it's just Parmesan, oil, oregano, I'm like, all right. But I don't know if I just grab my mustard. But
I didn't have really anything. But I know if I have peanut butter in there, man, it's like what Ted says. You live alone. You're gonna die with a spoon in your mouth. It's gonna be embarrassing.
Could you buy the extra crunch?
That's why I want. Man, I think I'm gonna buy a little teeny tiny stool for my shower.
All right.
So I can sit down and wash my feet. And so I can feel
so
like
you don't slip and fall the hell out.
Yeah, because that's the other way. Because the last time I got injured really bad was in a bathroom, passing out and breaking my ribs as I fell into a sink pedestal. So I know the danger. I don't know if I should put if I'm to the point where I should put a handle in. I feel like that looks really geriatric, or if I should just get a little stool in there that I can
get
take
those rubber things that your parents used to put on the bottom.
Like the little flowers that look like laughing.
Have you ever stepped in a brand new bathtub? I had never had the experience, or it's just not something you do much. And
I don't know.
When we first moved to Baltimore, my uncle owned a house, so we rented the house from him for 6 months. But it was a new construction, right? So the bathroom that we shared, you don't, and maybe they've changed the technology on this, I don't know. But the first time you stepped in that shower, all you did, it was like trying to walk across ice, right? And all you did was bounce around. You strained all your muscles just trying to keep your balance. We kept saying, man, we got to put something in there. So one morning, my father's in the bathroom taking a shower. And you hear, ah! So apparently what had happened, he's that same slippery ass shower. He tried to catch himself, but he grabbed the shower curtain, right? Because he grabbed, ripped that whole thing down, slid naked and wet across the tile floor, and came to a stop when he bashed his head on the bathroom door.
Oh, no.
So
that's what I'm afraid of.
So when I heard this, I'm kind of chuckling. He had to go to the hospital.
Yes.
I mean, it messed him up bad. I felt bad for laughing, but I mean, to hear it and then and you understood what was going on. It's that slippery ass bathtub. And after that, we got those stupid looking flower things. That seriously, next day they're at the bottom of the bathtub.
Yeah, you can get just the mats that come up and down. They're much easier to clean too.
Anything. I just don't want to slip and fall in the bathtub.
I won't lie to you. I have some friends that have an old school claw tub, and I mean, whenever I spend the night, I'm terrified in the morning. Oh my God! If I fall getting out of this goddamn tub, trying to take a shower,
it's going to hurt. That's a big step up and step down.
I know.
By the way, Ted, just so you know, someone here says, "Hell yeah, mustard shots."
Oh yeah.
Followed by, I used to smack 2 packs of mustard before each college soccer game to avoid cramps. Okay.
Yeah.
Someone else says they call me Mustard Matt, and finally, I love taking shots of stone ground mustard so I can chew on the little mustard seeds.
Yeah, and I don't know why.
I guess I'm the weirdo.
I don't do it with other condiments, but yeah, sometimes a little shot of mustard. Yeah, you got to get in the mustard gang.
I guess.
Gang.
Right. We start with a story out of Florida. Actually, I believe this began in the Bahamas. A man got a crash course in flying in airplanes this week. Luckily, minus the crashing, a passenger in a single-engine Cessna 208 was forced to land the plane at Palm Beach International Airport on Tuesday afternoon after the pilot had an apparent medical emergency on the way back from the Bahamas. And CNN has the heart-stopping audio. During the moment, the newly anointed...
Oh, Lord Jesus, oh, no!
He informed air traffic control about what was going on. I've got a serious situation here. My pilot has gone incoherent, and I have no idea how to fly the airplane, see? The man tells the controller. When asked by the controller what his position is, the man says, I have no idea. I can see the coast of Florida in front of me. Well, they instructed the man to do his best to keep the wing level steady and to follow the coastline, telling him, we are trying to locate you. 4 minutes later, the nervous man can be heard saying, have you guys located me yet? I can't even get my nav screen to turn on. Well, they soon did locate him off the coast of Boca Raton and guided him to a safe landing. The air traffic controller who helped the man land had never flown that specific model of plane, so he used a picture of the cockpit that he had on hand to help him with his efforts.
I hope they didn't tell him that at the time. I mean, I've never flown one of those, but I got a handy picture here.
The response from others over the airwaves at air traffic control was one of astonishment. You just witnessed a couple of passengers land that plane. Air traffic control can be heard saying, did you say the passengers landed the airplane? A stunned voice replied, that is correct, said air traffic control. To which the other voice responded, oh my God, great job. A JetBlue pilot who landed his own aircraft right after the Cessna says he could not believe what was happening in front of him. The level of difficulty that this person had to deal with in terms of having zero flight time to fly and land a single-engine turbine aircraft is absolutely incredible.
So let us interpret what all these other people are saying. We fully expected him to die.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. Not one person said, oh, that can be done. Everyone's response is, holy crap.
The air traffic controller came out to talk to the guy.
All right.
And apparently he gave him a big hug He was scared, you know what? His wife is pregnant.
Oh,
so he's got like all this stuff going on, plus all the people that were on the plane, like, you know, like, it's not just your life. Yes, you are flying that for you. Don't get me wrong, but there's people in that plane with you too. And now you've got a pilot that needs medical attention, and somebody needs to help him immediately as well.
No offense. Hey, you're number 2. So we'll get to you.
You got to get the plane down first.
But
all right, let me ask you this.
But I've always contended that if something were to happen, that I think I could land an airplane.
Okay, I was going to ask the question. We are on this Cessna. Our pilot.
This has been a 10-year argument.
The pilot goes down, all right, but the 4 of us are the passengers. Just by a show of hands, we say, look, one of us has to land this mofo, all right? And Miles, I know that you believe you can. I know that.
Well, I don't know after I read this article.
I don't know how much confidence I have. Who would we want to try to land a plane?
The astonishment of everyone in air traffic control, the astonishment of everybody who was on the radio, from all the other pilots in the area, that was like, oh my God, you really do need a lot more training than to just try to do this. That's one of the reasons they took him to the Palm Beach International Airport, is because it had one of the biggest, widest runways.
Sure.
So they could have landed him earlier someplace, but they decided, no, we're going to this airport because we feel like the angle coming in and the size of the runway will be beneficial for this guy. Because he's like, okay, when I land it, how do I even stop the aircraft?
Yeah, that's
so they're taking him through one thing at a time. He still has to stop the plane when he lands.
Is there any way that we can get access to like a flight simulator, like a professional? They teach pilots on this flight simulator.
I've done the one at the Air and Space Museum.
Like, let Miles run through this bad boy one shot.
Oh, look, let me
Miles, you should feel confident. We thought there was no chance. Now this guy's done it, and now you're kind of backing off.
Well, I am, because based on everybody's statements, like, this is unbelievable. You know, I thought, hey, if you can talk me through this, hopefully the plane could do most of it's like anything else. You take your hands off the steering wheel, and I don't recommend this on the interstate. Your car for at least 20 seconds is going to stay in its lane.
Well, that's the easy part. Like I said, flying the plane is easy. It's the landing part. Like, oh, no, I can keep the wings level. I can look at the horizon and do that.
That's what I'm saying. What do I look at? I don't know. What is it? The speed? Is it, you know what I mean? What the altitude is? You just tell me what gauge to look at, and I'll try to get it to that point.
I mean, don't let me. I could never land the Nintendo video game Top Gun. I could never get it back on the aircraft.
I would not let you. And after I did the flight simulator at Boeing, you don't want me to do it. Somebody here says, I have my pilot's license, but the idea of landing an unfamiliar plane is terrifying.
Whoa.
Well, the fact of the matter is, he'd never landed a plane before anyway, so every plane would be unfamiliar. This isn't like mine. He didn't have to go through that. Right. He said, what the hell do I do?
I don't want it's one of those things. He didn't realize how much danger he was in.
I think he knew how much danger he was in.
What is your most unbelievable factoid or life experience? 206-421-ROCK.
New on Curiosity Stream.
From time to time, we have collisions between asteroids and the Earth.
We track them. We study them. We hope the big one never comes. Don't look up. It's Asteroid Rush. And alligators. They rarely get sick. They even outlasted the dinosaurs. Could they hold the secret to human longevity?
Their blood could have antibacterial applications.
Wade into the investigation on immortal alligators. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Hey, all of it, thank you so much for listening to the Men's Room Podcast.
And thanks to our pals at the Advocates Law Firm for being great partners. Yes, even you, creepy Kyle.
Seriously, though, if you had been injured as a result of somebody else in your car, on your bike, walking across the street, talk to our friends at the Advocates Law Firm and let them help you out.
Yeah, they're the best injury lawyers around, and they want to make sure that you're not taken advantage of. Plus, your first consultation is free.
It's simple. You get injured, the advocates get results. Contact them today at advocateslaw.com.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
So what is your most unbelievable factoid or life experience? 206-421-ROCK.
By the way, real quick, we had asked, hypothetically, we are on that Cessna, our pilot goes down, who should land a plane? The consensus from the texters is that it should be you, Mike.
Yeah!
Oh, you're
happy about that?
Yeah, we're all going to die, but at least I get to fly a plane before we die.
That's what I told Mike in the commercial break. He was like, I wouldn't be that confident. I go, I'm not confident in you. I'm just saying you're our best shot.
The most confident person is Miles, who's already established he believes he can do it.
The thing is, I'd be in the driver's seat there, and I'm going and I'm listening to all the recommendations that they're giving me, and then Miles is holding a cocktail over my shoulder.
Did you guys ever have a flight simulator on your computer that you used to mess around with?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I flew that thing everywhere. So I figure
simulator.
Simulator. It's gotta be somewhat close.
Yeah, I was playing Top Gun on Nintendo.
But you couldn't land on the aircraft carrier.
Look, I couldn't land it, but I bet there's a ton of people out there that could never land it on that aircraft carrier either.
You mean in the game?
Correct. That was like the thing. You could fly these missions, but it was just, I remember it being impossible to land it.
That's also an aircraft carrier.
Right. Yeah, those guys.
You got to hit the static line. You got to do all the things.
I was like crashing into it.
Whatever they call that.
That's real bad.
Yeah.
What is your most unbelievable factoid or life experience? 206-421-ROCK.
I can glide and float on water.
Yeah. Hello, Aaron. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Yeah, when I was 10 years old, I was fishing with my dad and a buddy of his, and I was indirectly struck by lightning.
How bad were the injuries?
I was actually okay. The lightning bolt hit the ground in between the three of us where the vehicles were parked, and we all got pitched about 10 feet back. It was like a bomb went off.
Did you happen to black out?
Yeah, I woke up in my dad's truck driving down the highway with my dad shaking me like, hey, are you okay? You still there?
I had a very similar experience. As far as, it's kind of weird. You just wake up and you're like, what just happened there?
Right.
Because you don't know what happened. Someone has to explain to you what you've just gone through. Because you don't understand why you woke up and why you're sitting in the grass underneath the tree.
Right.
It doesn't make sense. It's almost like you woke up from a dream, but it's not a dream. And you've been asleep for a long time, and then when you wake up, you don't know why you are where you are.
Right.
Then you have to it takes a long time to piece everything back together to figure out, oh, I was out here golfing. Why is Brian under the tree laying down?
Right.
My buddy Shoemaker. Why are you okay? And I crawled over to him and shook him, and he was not good, man, because he was standing on a root, I think. Oh, no. That's what I'm assuming. There was one big root. I think he was on a root.
Didn't you say he was never quite the same after that?
He was fine. No, he was the one who had to go to the hospital. So me and Brian ended up driving him to the hospital. And so then his parents met us at the hospital because we called from the clubhouse before we left.
Yeah.
We're going to Mon General. Your son's going to need to get in there, man. Please come pick his ass up. So, but he was able to give his home phone number. We're like, hey, what's your phone number? I'm going to call your parents. Like, why? Because we got hit by lightning, dude.
What kind of pain do you feel after you've been struck by lightning? You wake up.
You have ringing in your ears. You feel like you're pressurized.
Ooh.
So, like, the ringing is, like, you can't really hear very well.
Right.
So it's like you're at altitude, but you drop real fast. I can't explain it. Okay. Kind of like coming down in an airplane.
Like if you were sinking in the water really
without
quick.
Pressurization.
Yeah.
Your body's all tingly. All the hair is standing up. Your heart's going 150 miles an hour. It's like somebody basically took a defibrillator and went on you, for like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And then
nature did that.
Right. Exactly. It was amazing.
Hello, Josh. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Okay, so I grew up in a really small town in Colorado, and I went to a real famous elementary school. Some of you might heard of it, South Park Elementary.
For real? There really is a South Park, huh?
Yeah. So it's about 45 minutes outside of Breckenridge. It's in Fairplay, Colorado. They don't have any markings on the school because everyone keeps stealing them.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's no way.
Did you go to school before the cartoon?
Yeah. I was, I was born in '84, so I went there up until about 3rd or 4th grade.
So when the show came out, were you aware that basically they were parodying your school?
My dad looks exactly like Stan Marsh's dad.
That's what I was going to say.
Big, giant Tom Selleck mustache. I think it's hilarious.
Did Trey Parker or Matt Stone go to that school?
No, but I think they went to, Colorado Springs. So when you go to Breckenridge, all the bands go to Breckenridge. They go to all the, the big clubs and they play. Well, the only other hotel outside of there is in Alma, Colorado, and Alma and Fairplay are right next to each other. So if you've been to a club in Breckenridge, chances are you've probably stopped in at Alma and Fairplay and been to the Alma's Only Bar and seen a club or a band.
Okay. That is cool. That's a cool factoid.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, well, thank you. Appreciate it, guys. Keep up the good work.
Hey, right on. I went to a boring-ass high school. Ted, you went to a legendary high school, though.
I did, yeah. DeMatha Catholic High School.
I went to 3 different high schools, none of them legendary. None of them, not one of them.
Which one were the names of them?
The first one I went to was called City College, and that one...
It was not a college, it was a high school.
It's a high school. The nickname was the Castle on the Hill. We called it the Dump on the Hump because
Why
that's
would they
what
call it
kids do.
City College? I went to a high school called University High.
Right, yeah, I don't know.
It's not a university.
I don't know.
It's not a college, it's a high school.
Right, it's still freaking high school. But we were at the time, we were located across from Memorial Stadium, which is where the Orioles played, and the Colts, up until they built the new stadium downtown.
Sure.
So there was that place where I got kicked out of there. Then I went to, was it Northern? I think the high school was, I was only there for 2 days. But on day one, and I've told this story before, I had ratty tennis shoes and all this, and this is Baltimore City in the 80s, man, so your kicks were everything. So anyway, we're standing outside before the bell rings. This dude says, they're talking about whatever, but it's like, man, you think it's time to get a new pair of shoes? I was like, don't worry about my effing shoes, right? His response, you kiss your mother with that mouth. I said, no, I kiss your mother with this mouth. But to recreate it, let me do what I can here. You kiss your mother with that mouth. No, I kiss your mother with this mouth. That dude punched me so fast after the words came out of my mouth, man. But the school got a new principal that year. They pulled us both in. I was gone the next day. And then I went from Northern to Southern High School, which is now called Digital Harbor High, which is a joke, but right. Anyway, went to Southern High School, got kicked out of there, got let back in, got kicked out again, finally went back there, but that's where I graduated. But none of them are known for anything is the point.
I'm not sure that, so if you could have something named after you, let's just say for whatever reason, your high school came to you.
What are my options?
And said, hey, we want to name the high school after you. I would be like, no, absolutely not. I hated high school. I hate school. I'm not an academic person. I'm not, this is the name a cemetery after me.
What about the football stadium?
You can make a.
Yeah, their high school football stadium.
I still don't think I'm worthy. They were much better players.
But they said, man, we like you.
Well, and you're alive. So, I mean, they're probably not going to name it after you.
Right.
But I'm just saying, like, the football, you liked playing football, high school football.
I did like playing football. I just don't think I'm the worthy recipient of the person that.
But you would accept it, wouldn't you? It says it can be Miles Montgomery Stadium.
I don't think so.
Really?
No, there are too many other players that played that were much better than me. They deserve that honor, without question.
Look at our alumni. DeMatha, there's a ton of stuff. But they want, hey, Mr. Ponton, you want to name something after me? Go ahead.
I was only the third football player to be All-State, first team All-State. In the school. That's because we sucked.
Hey,
no. We weren't that good. Till I got there and went to the playoffs. That's right.
We go.
What would you want named after you? Because the school, I can't imagine they would approach me, but like, no, dude. Don't
the cafeteria.
Like the best place in town to get a hamburger.
You know what? That'd be kind of cool. The cafeteria.
But look, in high school, like, I'm sure everybody's high school the same way. Like, lunch is the highlight.
It is. It's the social time. It's the food.
Like Dick at Dick's Burgers. Mm-hmm. That would be something cool. The Frisco Freeze. If it was named me, I'd be cool with that. Just
Miles Freeze.
Someplace where you go and you get a really good hot dog or hamburger and a milkshake. Something that you look forward to.
Not enough to be a bar.
A 10th grader is not looking forward to going to high school that day. And my name is on the damn building.
Right, so they hate you.
I don't want to do that. Right.
I still think, and I think they've changed the name now, and they built another building out front. But there was a new, so my school was tiny school, then we had the new wing, which was already built when I got there. And then they built the Student Activity Center. But it's an all-guys high school, and you got a center called the SAC.
Oh, God. Nice. You got to think these things out,
like,
man.
It's a Student Activity Center. I'm like, whatever.
It's going to be the SAC forever, bro.
The SAC. What is your most unbelievable factoid or life experience? 206-4219.
Hello, Riley. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
All right. So it was like a year and a half ago. I moved down to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I didn't realize how just bad the crime was down here. I'd always seen Breaking Bad. I've seen it like 100 times. I work of fiction. It's great. Until I moved down here, it didn't take very long for me to realize that show's a goddamn documentary is what it is. Because it took about a couple months, and the truck I drove down in, it got stolen. And, I've had vehicles stolen before. I've known people that have vehicles stolen. Usually they take it for a joyride. Police find it a couple days later. And I looked up the ratio of vehicles stolen to recovered in New Mexico, and I realized I'm never getting that truck back. It's either in a shop or it's halfway down to Mexico. And lo and behold, a couple days later, I get a call from a towing company saying, hey, we found your truck. We just pulled it out the front end of a La Quinta a couple hours ago. So said, "Oh, that's great."
As in the hotel?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I said, "That's great. Can I come get it?" And he goes, "Well, the police have it. It's in a crime lab." It's like, "What happened?" He goes, "I don't know. Something about someone being shot." He couldn't tell me.
Oh.
And I get a hold of a detective or something, and he tells me that what happened was the guy who stole my truck got in a scuffle with who they think to be Mexican drug cartel members, got shot in the head, and then his limp body drove my truck into the front end of the hotel.
Okay, with that in mind, do you want your truck back at that point?
Well, that's what I asked him. I said, "Well, is the truck drivable? I mean, how much blood is in there?" And he said, we can't disclose that until the investigation is done, until we figure out what happened." It's like, "Well, you said these guys were driving a all-tinted black SUV. They're probably in the drug cartel. You're never going to find these guys. This is insane. I'm never getting the truck back." And it was like 6 months later. They told me that it was in a salvage yard. I went to go take photos. I mean, this thing was destroyed. There was so much just bricks of cement embedded in the front. There was blood everywhere. And I mean, there was no driving that thing.
When I think black SUV, I'm thinking, so you're telling me the guy that drives you to the airport's also in the cartel?
Yeah. He's in the cartel.
Albuquerque, maybe.
He drives for Uber, occasionally works Secret Service, you know. So, but would you, even if your truck had been clean, right, and there's no brain matter and everything else, do you want to drive a vehicle that had been previously targeted by a Mexican drug cartel?
Well, before I knew that was like a suspect for what had happened, because I had just been told that he was shot and he was killed. The drug cartel thing, they never confirmed that. They just said it was possible. So before I learned that, I got that question a lot: is if the truck is drivable and you can fix it, would you drive it? And I said, absolutely, I would. I would get photos. I would get all the documentation of what happened that night, and I would keep it in the truck so when riding with me, I could pull it out and say, "Hey, here's what happened in this thing."
I'd like to see that on the Carfax. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
It's only been in one accident, but a head did explode.
So the insurance company did say the truck was totaled, right? So you could get a new one?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did total it out. Now, the thing that I always find funny about this is because I've been down here for almost 2 years now, and every time I tell this story to my friends and family back in Seattle, they all say the same thing. They go, "Wow, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. That's insane." And I'm like, "I know." And I tell people in Albuquerque, and they all just say the same thing. They go, "Yeah, welcome to Albuquerque."
Right. Yeah.
Right or something.
I had no idea. I had no idea Albuquerque was that crazy.
It's broke, man. You know, there's no industry. It's broke, so everyone's on drugs. When my parents were living in New Mexico,
you should really watch Breaking Bad.
I know. It seems like it'd be a wonderful place to retire. There's sun.
There's Santa Fe. So Santa Fe's fairly close to Albuquerque. My parents lived dead between both. And when you went to Santa Fe, that's like where some actors and actresses have retired, and it's kind of the hippie hay and love, right? But it's a nice.
They got all the crystals.
Yeah, right. And then you go the exact opposite way and go to Albuquerque, and I mean they're real close. It's like, okay, this place is effed up. I mean, it's I was surprised by that. I didn't realize it was that bad, but it is. Just having seen it. Yeah, Santa Fe is one thing. By the way, Ted, a bunch of texts have been rolling in. I just want to let you know that it is apparently impossible to land. The Top
Gun video game.
Yeah, all these texts have been coming in. They're still coming in about that. They're like, Ted ain't alone, man. It doesn't work.
Right, I'm 41. Anybody my age, we all had the game. But like me and my cousins, like I don't know that I knew anybody that could consistently land it. One guy, my babysitter's son, Sean, he was the only dude I saw land it like once.
Really?
Woo! Yeah, I mean, right, and it was such a simple game other than that, but at the end of the mission, you had to land back, and you only got 2 planes.
And that's an important thing.
Yeah.
Damn. All right, well, you're not alone.
What is your most unbelievable factoid or life experience? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Steve. Welcome to the men's room.
Aloha, guys.
Hola.
So, I heard you talking earlier about choking, and I picked up, I'm a music photographer, I picked up the Dave Matthews shows last year, and we hopped in my friend's car, and she's got this beautiful Beamer, and we drove up, and it was a nice drive, and we couldn't figure out where this where my room was booked, and we finally found it, and I thought, oh my God, this can't be for real. I mean, it was like a drug motel. It was just horrible. And I went in, and I said, here's my ID, and I handed him my ID, and he looks at it, and he goes, hey, you came all the way from Hawaii to stay here? And I went, what? And then next thing I knew, SWAT team was there. They roll out. They're everywhere. And this just all led up to such a nightmare that we finally got out of there after about 3 hours. We went to a restaurant across the street, and we were on the phone trying to figure out how I got booked in this room. And so we order a steak, and I'm on the phone trying to get my new room, and the steak is so good. I couldn't believe how good it was. And the phone rang, and it was about 1 o'clock in the morning by now. And I tried to answer the phone, and the piece of meat got stuck in my throat. And it was just gurgling noises. And I could hear it gurgling, and I thought, oh, my God, I think I'm going to die. And my girl starts trying to Heimlich me, and it wasn't working. And I just remember going down to my knees, and then I just blacked out. And when I came to, this guy... He'd gotten the meat out of my throat and brought me back to life. And all I saw was the little stripes on the bottom of his pants, and it turns out he was a fireman that was in there having dinner. And he saved my life and didn't even stick around for me to say thank you or anything. But I'll tell you what, I have a newfound respect for firemen. I mean, you know, I know they do good, but...
Yeah, but when they do it for you specifically, you feel a lot better.
When I passed out and broke my ribs, I looked up and there was 3 firemen standing over top of me, taking care of me,
urinating on them.
Exactly.
Ever. And I'll tell you, I now, every 3 months, I go down to my local fire station when I'm here in Seattle, and I donate bags of stuffed animals to the police department, the Kirkland Police Department, and the Kirkland Fire Department to give children for when they have anxiety during calls and when they have issues with the fire department. And I do that because I just didn't realize how important they were. And, I mean, this man did such an amazing thing, and he didn't even wait for me to say thank you.
Let me ask you, where did you end up staying that night? Because there really
we ended up getting in the car and driving back.
Yeah, it sounds like that.
You drove back to Seattle?
We drove back to Seattle. I was so upset that I don't stay in places that are just like, I can't even explain this place. There was a guy bleeding on the sidewalk. The SWAT team they rolled out and they just came out of, it seemed like they came from everywhere. And I don't even know why they were there, but it just,
Do you know the name of this place?
It was a Motel 6.
Oh.
But it wasn't called Motel 6. And that's why I was so surprised. Because I don't stay in places like that. I mean, I'm sure that it's good for somebody, but this was like a 0-star place. And we had to go around this to find it. We ended up going around a Best Buy and then past one of these big lot stores, through the alley, past a dumpster, and there it was. And I thought, something's wrong here. And when I showed the guy my ID, he goes, you came all the way from Hawaii to stay here?
That tells you everything.
Boom. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you what, the girl I was with, her car cost like $150,000, and the look on her face when we were finally getting out of there, she was just white. She's like, what's going on? What did you get me into? And that was a very long night. And the sad thing is that I met a lady at Jazz Alley, and she worked across the street at Google, but her husband was head of the VIP experience for Live Nation. So I was going to get the special treatment for her that I normally get, because I get treated really well.
Sure.
I get the VIP treatment, but she's never experienced that. So I was really excited for her to just get pampered and get to meet the guys and, do all that stuff, which, doesn't really excite me anymore. Mm-hmm. But we didn't get that. She was not real happy, but I said, look, we need to go back to Seattle. I'm not feeling good. I couldn't hardly swallow. But,
Yeah, give me a break, man.
Yeah.
What do you want from me, dude?
Well, if you would have gone, Colin Farrell would have had sex with your girl.
Yeah, that's a good point. Hey, by the way, Ted, just real quick, regarding Top Gun.
The video game, yeah.
The video game.
Yeah.
A lot of people still agreeing with you, but then these two come in. You just had to drop the airplane down to 188 miles an hour and glide it in. You land every time on Top Gun. That from Rodney. Yeah. And then someone else says, there's a code you type in to automatically land the jet on Top Gun.
That's what I think is going to happen for me when I'm trying to land the plane. There's just going to be a way where I can press a couple buttons and it'll help me out.
That makes sense. I remember people, somebody knew the code, kind of like Contra. This is very specific, but when you had those Nintendos, there was the Contra one, everybody remembers, that gave you like unlimited lives or whatever. So I think it's the same thing with Top Gun. Most people that, if you were good at it, you were landing it. Now that guy that said you had to get 100 and whatever.
188 miles an hour, you glided in, you land every time.
God, I feel like I can hear another like 10 or 12-year-old kid telling me that and just throw in a controller.
What is your most unbelievable factoid or life experience? 206-421-ROCK.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too-big-to-fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.